Here we have another ridiculous story about an actor who isn't the right whatever identity to portray a character. A while ago, we heard that it was Scarlett Johansson was going to be playing a trans man. And there was this big backlash, and I believe the movie got canceled. I know she pulled out, so I think the movie's not getting made, because everyone was saying a trans man should play the character. The reason why that's so insane is, listen, Scarlett Johansson's incredible. I think she's fantastic. She is a wonderful actor, and she wants to play a trans man. Okay, well, she's top billed, right? That means when she does movies, people go to see those movies. That's why they like top billed actors. If she portrays a trans man, even though she isn't, it is a massive net gain for representation. You will have a movie with a protagonist, I believe the protagonist, where is a trans man. But because of the actor puritanism, where the activists said a trans man character needs to be played by a trans man, Scarlett Johansson pulls out because of the backlash. Okay. Actors pretend to be something they are not. Quite literally, there are men who play women and women who play men. It's like normal. In fact, like in the show Bob's Burgers, you've got, actually, yeah, in Bob's Burgers, most of the female characters are voiced by men. And the Cleveland show and Family Guy has a black man voiced by a white actor. Like, you don't have, like, you can portray, I know those are cartoons, but, right? It's funny to me that there have been what's called, like, color washing or whitewashing. It's like, both sides will get mad about this. When they change a white character to be not white, then you see people freak out and say, why are you changing the source material? And then when they change like a character to be white, then the left complains that they're whitewashing. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in fact a black man. He's mixed race, but he is part black. He talks about how his father was black, and he wants to play John Henry. Well, apparently, Dwayne Johnson's casting as John Henry prompts a deserved backlash. John Henry, I'm not super familiar with. Maybe you know, it's like a folk hero. I think that, yeah, okay, they might explain it. Dwayne Johnson has a lane, and he's rocked the hell out of it. Truth be told, it's a lucrative lane. The affable action star has made good money off, being an affable action star. Congratulations. This is from The Root, by the way. But on Tuesday, with the announcement of his latest project, an adaptation of the African-American folk hero John Henry, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson committed one hell of a lane violation. Really? He did. He's black. As CBS News reports, the reception to Johnson, a light-skinned, mixed-race man playing an undeniably black American folk legend, was incredulous at best. Johnson's heritage isn't exactly a mystery. He comes from a storied wrestling lineage that includes the legendary Samoan wrestler Peter Maiva, his grandfather, and Dwayne's father, Rocky Johnson. Dwayne Johnson himself has celebrated his father's trailblazing career as a black wrestler who broke color barriers in the business. He's got this image, and you can see that Dwayne's father is a black man. So I don't know exactly what Dwayne Johnson's ethnicity, mixed race lineage is. Quite honestly, I didn't care. I don't care. I probably never will care, because I think Dwayne Johnson's awesome. He seems like a really nice dude. You know, he seems like a really nice guy, and I think he's really great at what he does. Most of the movies that he's in, I get a kick out of. Plain and simple. I don't know a lot about his politics. I try to keep politics out of it. Like, I got no beef against Kanye. I got no beef against Taylor Swift. I don't know those people. They're allowed to have opinions. I know people who have crazy opinions, who have tepid opinions, and that's fine. When it comes to, you know, the PR stuff at least, I feel like Dwayne is a pretty cool dude. I don't know him personally, so maybe I'm wrong and it's all a big act, but suffice it to say, I don't care what his race and all that stuff is. But you know what? He comes from black heritage, and he wants to play John Henry. My opinion? I don't care. Then again, people will probably say to me that because I don't understand the struggle and, you know, the world that, you know, the perspective that black people have, I probably wouldn't understand. I think that's fair. That's fine. But I'm still allowed to have an opinion. And my opinion is, hey, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you go do you. You do your thing. Because as an actor, you can probably play whoever you want. If you're going to say it's fine when a white character is recast as somebody else, you know, as a different race, and when, and like, basically, I don't understand where the anger comes from, because both sides seem to take issue with varying degrees of mixing, like, character, race, or something. I believe it tends to be the left that gets upset about it, because I'm thinking about, like, if there's a whitewashing instance, I actually find that the anti-social justice people actually take issue with it as well. Like, with Scarlett Johansson playing Ghost in the Shell, I know a lot of people who consider themselves to like not be social justice warriors who are like, I would have preferred a Japanese actress. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because the social justice activists say the same thing. But then I do know a lot of people who are like, just who cares? At the same time, I know a lot of people who are anti-SJW who are like, why are they making white characters not white? And now you have the inverse, which is, in my opinion, more common on the left. But actually, this is one of the most extreme examples, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is literally black. Like, literally. Look, you know what? If Sean King, okay, is an activist for Black Lives Matter and a prominent figure in this community, you don't get to rag on The Rock. The Rock is a cool dude. He makes good movies, for the most part. I haven't seen all of his movies, but I like what he does, and he's a nice man. Leave The Rock alone. People are crazy. Acknowledging black heritage isn't the same as identifying as a black man, and Johnson has never publicly done the latter. How dare he? Even more pertinent, Johnson's racial ambiguity has been a hallmark of many of his roles, which have rarely seen him explicitly portraying a black man. So what? So what? His race doesn't matter. He's allowed to be whoever he wants. And to that end, being part of a black family, well, so what? Which brings us to John Henry. Johnson has also never been short on charisma, and certainly has the body type one would ascribe to the legend. Okay, but John Henry, the legendary steel-driving man who quite literally worked himself to death, is not an ambiguously black character, nor has he been portrayed as such. Many Twitter users noted that Henry was frequently portrayed as dark-skinned. Previous film adaptations of the legend starred Danny Glover. And this doesn't get into the cultural context of the John Henry legend, whom research suggests was based on a real railroad worker. This is what's really funny about this whole scenario is that they're literally complaining about mixed race washing. They're like, this is, you know what? I was thinking about why I'm kind of like a centrist on a lot of issues, and I really do believe it's because I'm from a very mixed race area of the south side of Chicago, and I am a mixed race person. Haha, it's a meme, everybody knows it because I talk about it often. But seriously, there are a lot of white college students. There are a lot of young middle-class white kids who grew up in all-white neighborhoods who were constantly told about racism and didn't grow up in proximity to, other minorities and other groups. So what happens is you see someone like Anne Hathaway or Bernie Sanders. When they say things about how like white people can't experience, poverty and like fear and things like that, it's because they didn't. It's because they, as white people, are affluent and grew up in nice areas and don't think white people experience these things. But when you come from like poor white areas, when you come from mixed race areas specifically, so I think here's what happens. You have that side, right? The SJW, whatever you want to call it. But then you have white people who grew up in poverty who are probably going to be on the other side saying, I've experienced this, man. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've been through poverty. You're wrong, Bernie Sanders. You're wrong, Anne Hathaway. And then you have people like me who are mixed, who grew up in mixed areas, and I'm like, I kind of see both. I have seen white people be beaten by the cops. I have seen white people go to jail. And I have seen Latinos, and I have seen black people. And I have experienced racism, and I've also, I actually don't know how to quantify not experiencing racism, because racism isn't extremely common, or I don't focus on it. But for me, I wonder if like my politics as of today have gone from left to kind of center left, specifically because the left has embraced so much of this absolute nonsense. Like, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson can't play a black man because he's not black enough. Are you kidding me? His dad's literally a black guy. Like, what's wrong with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? He is not a perceivably white man. And look, I'd understand it if they were like, you can't have a white dude play John Henry. I'd be like, yeah, I can see what you're saying. You want to be as true to the character as you can. Not that it's a race issue, it's a character issue. But Dwayne literally comes from mixed race heritage, which includes more, I would argue, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has more black heritage than Sean King does. But Sean King is widely accepted, not by all, but by many as a biracial man. And it's funny when they talk about Sean King, I'm not trying to impugn the honor of Sean King. I'm not trying to disparage him. I'm just trying to bring up that people call him biracial. But clearly, Sean King is mixed race to a greater degree than just biracial. Like, his dad wasn't a black man, his mom wasn't a white man. Like, his dad was a mixed race person. You know what I mean? The point is, if Sean King wants to be an activist for Black Lives Matter, hey, more power to him. I got it. And if people accept him for that, absolutely. But how are you going to rag on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for being an actor who literally is mixed race and black, and then be like, you ain't black enough? To me, that's nuts. And I wonder how many people actually care about this, and I wonder if this is total and complete BS. Yesterday, Twitter users floated actors like Spawn's Michael Jai White, Luke Cage's Michael Coulter. Michael Coulter's pretty awesome too, though, so maybe that would be pretty cool. And Black Panther's Winston Duke. He's also pretty awesome, as more suitable actors to play John Henry. But so what? Others said they wished the high-profile role would have gone to an unknown rather than a man who can already command around $20 million a film. And therein lies the big problem. Look, these people are all really cool, and I actually kind of agree. I think Michael Coulter would, in my opinion, I don't know a lot about John Henry, but based on what I know about Mike Coulter's work, I think he'd be a great fit for the character. However, I don't think we should keep trying to live in a world where we're literally policing skin tone at this point. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, did you grow up with a black father? You did. Do you know about this? You do. Your dad was called Soul Man? Really? But you know what? Yeah, you're not dark enough. Like literally tone policing. Like, and I don't mean like vocal tone like they say, like literally skin tone policing. This is why I find myself in the anti-identitarian camp, because I think it's absolutely insane. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. While personally I could lean towards seeing someone like Mike Coulter or Winston Duke, I'm not super familiar with Michael Jai White, but I think it's insane that you literally have backlash against actors who aren't gay enough, who aren't trans enough, and who aren't black enough when they are literally black. Okay, Scarlett Johansson was not trans, and they argued about it. And everyone's like, yeah, but she's an actor, you know, she can play whatever. Nope, gotta go. Jude Law, playing Dumbledore. Jude Law's not gay. That's a problem. Now you literally have Dwayne Johnson. Literally not white, mixed race, black. Not black enough. You know what? That's not a world I want to live in. Like, Family Guy made a joke where Peter pulls up in a car and someone holds up a color chart like it's to his skin or whatever, and it became a meme. That's the future we're walking towards. Yep. Which leads me to the next video I have coming up, so stick around. It's going to be up in a few minutes on this channel. If you're watching at a later date, go to my channel and look for it. Hillary Clinton embracing incivility. And thus we have the next level of, after the passive-aggressive anger around issues like Dwayne Johnson not being black enough, you end up with incivility. People being rude and sometimes even violent. So stick around. We're going to talk about that next.